in April of 2010 when the BP oil spill came about for seafood restaurants and for a lot of the southeast Louisiana and all of Louisiana from that aspect actually, and the Mississippi Gulf Coast again were affected by something that was not their own making. You have my particular case, we're a restaurant that thrives on seafood. That's what people come here for, fried and boiled seafood. We have a lot of traditional seafood dishes here. That's what we serve at Frankie and Johnny's. And what has happened as a result of the BP oil spill, we are still using Louisiana seafood products. We always were during this problem. But the shrimp have gone up 30% in price. The oysters are no longer, Louisiana oysters are no longer in existence right now to get them at a price where I could actually serve them and break even. If I could break even, we would get them, but they're so expensive now that you would actually lose money. Things like catfish that aren't in the Gulf, that are farm raised, are affected because they're farm raised. Even though they're farm raised, the demand goes up because of your subtraction of the other products. So it's been a little difficult to deal with.
Louisiana is the #1 fisheries, commercial fisheries state in the 48 lower states. We're only second to Alaska, but we're #1 in oysters, #1 in blue crabs, #1 in Gulf shrimp, #1 in shrimp in the United States. So having said that, we all rely on the fisheries from Louisiana around the country as a food that we enjoy, and at that point and through right now, it's been impacted significantly, and I'm truly concerned about our future, because the longer it takes for things to get normal again, the harder it is going to be to get this culture back together to start producing at the levels that it had previously.
My name is Frank Campo Jr. I own Campo's Marina. We've been dealing with fishermen, and I have been a fisherman in previous years. I've been all my life we've been doing this. The shrimping industry has taken a big beating throughout the years with the turtle shoots and the turtle excluders, or the TEDs, or whatever you want to call them. Price-wise, we've been beat up. At one time, I thought we were the seafood capital of the world, but with all that's going down, with, like I tell you, with the turtle shoots and the laws and storms and now the oil spill, we're not faring out too well.
You ain't gonna catch crabs in that water in a crab trap with oil in it. He's gonna be dead. It's gonna kill it. I had dead crabs out there. We get it every year. On the outside, when they're cleaning them wells out, they're using that caustic soda to cut the wax in the pipes so the oil free flow. And it don't go and stop the water. It goes to the bottom, and it goes along the bottom. Wherever it passes, everything that's in that crab trap is dead. Catfish, hardheads, everything is dead. Crabs, everything. And it'll go, when the water starts to fall, it go back out. That happened to me this year back out there, but it's every year you get that. Wildlife and fisheries say that's the red tide or lack of oxygen. Can't tell me that out in open waters, lack of oxygen. You gotta wave that high, wind blowing. That puts the oxygen in the water.
I believe that the Louisiana oyster business is going to change significantly over the next 5 years. I think it'll be about a pittance of what it was prior to the BP disaster. The amount of oysters that we've lost because of the freshwater diversions that were opened to keep the oil at bay killed a lot of oysters on our public and private oyster farms, which take 2 to 3 years to become market size. We have an issue dealing with the publicity of seafood coming from the Gulf states. So all these different issues are going to impact our future, and we've seen that happen to date.
The oyster industry has taken a big hit with this oil spill. I don't know if we're going to have an oyster industry after this. It's really scary. We're not going to know the effects of the seafood here, the oil on the seafood, until it makes a whole revolution. When it goes out to reproduce, we'll either wind up in bad shape. I don't know. We had, at one time, and we still do, we have the best shrimp in the country. Louisiana shrimp is better than any shrimp ever anywhere. So, I really don't know what to tell you about next year or the year after, but up to this point, our shrimp were the best in the country. Our oysters were the best oysters. But, you're coming down here to make a documentary on something that might become extinct. I don't like to say that, but it's very possible.
I fished crab all my life. I fished, that's all I ever done. Raised 3 kids, that's all I ever done. My daddy raised 7 sons. That's all he ever done. My great-grandpa raised 5, and that's all he ever done. So I'm the 5th generation of a commercial fisherman. And my son is the 6th.
As always, when you live, especially in the South, but especially in Louisiana and the rest of the Gulf Coast, you learn to deal with problems on a daily basis, and you overcome them. People learn in this area very quickly after Hurricane Katrina that the only way to survive was to keep moving forward, to move on, to go ahead and not wait on any assistance from anybody. And I think when the BP oil spill happened, people kept looking again, when is someone going to do anything? When are they going to do this? When is the BP going to be responsible? When is the government going to take action? But very quickly you learned, okay, here we are again, faced with a problem, how do we overcome it? And that's very much the attitude of people that live in this industry, people that live in this area, and it has to be your attitude or you're going to get left behind.